All right, everybody, thank you for listening. We are brought to you by Boss Bears Supplements. Hard work, consistency, and determination are difficult to sustain when your mind and body can't keep up. Fuel your body with what it needs to perform like a boss. Whether you're closing deals, pitching a new business idea, or training in the gym, Boss Bears take your hustle to the next level. Our ingredients are the highest quality with potency and serving sizes that are the gold standard in the industry. Right here we got Boss Bears apple cider vinegar gummy bears. So Boss Bears supplements take regular supplements and put them in the delicious form of a gummy. These are the apple cider vinegar gummies and they are fucking delicious. The sugar content is pretty low. You're going to get all of your daily apple cider vinegar in delicious apple gummy flavor. Check it out. Go to bossbears.com and use code Nicky to save 10%. We are also brought to you by Clout Power Supplements. Cloutpower.com, Kloutpwr. Go to cloutpower.com and check out Clout Power Supplements. Use code Nicky to save 15% at checkout. They just came out with the new pre-workout flavor Space Candy. It is absolutely delicious. I've tried it myself. My favorite of the pre-workouts is the Mamba Extreme Pre because I'm a guy that likes stims. They also have a stim-free. They have a nootropic pre-workout called Karma that is also very good. They also have some delicious protein and just many great supplements. So go to cloutpower.com, Kloutpwr.com. Use code Nicky to save 15%. All right, man. Clout Power, baby. Let's go. Okay, everybody. Welcome to the Nicky Free Podcast. I'm here with Talla Amini, and she is a bikini competitor and also the owner of Fuelicious Protein Desserts. So how are you doing today? Oh, and when you talk, make sure you talk right into that guy.
Here.
Yeah, you want to keep that close to your mouth. Yeah, you can adjust it however you want.
Awesome.
So how's your morning?
It's been good. It's been doing good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's yours?
It's great. I had 2 other podcasts this week. So I had one Tuesday night, and then my buddy Jay was here yesterday, and he almost couldn't find the place, but then he found it. And I think he was pretty tired too, because he's been he does photography, and he's been has a day job as well. So he's been so I think he was tired, but he stuck it out, and we did it was kind of a later night podcast, and it was pretty fun. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so bikini competitor. So how long have you been doing that?
I'd say since 2014, 2015, around that time. So
Really?
it's been a while.
And what was it that made you want to get into that?
I just, I started when I was in college. I was going to UW in Seattle, and with all my hours studying there, I wanted to do some part-time work. So I was always working at Gold's Gym. I was working the front desk, everything. I was always at different gyms. So
Okay.
That's
And so Golds and everything, that was probably pretty. Are those still around?
yeah,
No?
there's they have the Kirkland location, but slowly you don't see them as much as you used to.
I know, because those were the coolest gym, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always saw, even that shirt, that's a dope shirt, the Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know there's still one going, but I should go check it out here.
Yeah, it's very they still keep that kind of old school mentality there.
Right.
It's very focused. And when I was going to college there, I think you had him on the podcast too, Mark Sundayan.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
Mark? Okay, yeah, Mark's been on here. He was one of the first guests, actually.
Yeah. That was a gym that he was at a lot too.
Okay, yeah, he's an old school dude. He's been in the industry for a long time. I
For
feel like a lot of
years.
people know him.
Yeah.
That's dope. So you were working at Gold's Gym, and I suppose so you were around the culture of bodybuilding, and so you just thought, hey, I want to try this.
Yeah, and also I grew up in Naples, Florida, where it was there's gyms everywhere.
Yeah.
So even as when I was small, I was always around the bodybuilders, bodybuilding. So
And just physical fitness in general.
yeah, it was always there growing up.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
awesome. So that's been just a huge part of your life, I imagine.
Yeah, huge.
What does that mean to you? Like, is it just is it part of your? Are you still training pretty regularly now? Do you have any shows coming up?
Well, I've been trying to, me and my coach were like trying to transition possibly into wellness.
Right.
So it's kind of like that fine median line. Like, do we stay in bikini because this is what we've always progressed into, or do we take it up?
Right. And so how long did it take you to get from the time that you decided to do your first bikini competition? Like what was that timeline like? Was that something so like but the time that you decided I want to do a competition, how long before your first show?
It was it was only about like less than a year, maybe
Yeah.
8 months. I just wanted to like I had no expectations.
So
I
you
was
went
like,
all in.
yeah, just
Yeah.
I'm like, just go in there, see how it is, and just once you get that first showdown, then you're like, okay, I either want to do this or,
You
do
either
something
commit to
else.
it or you don't.
Yeah.
And you decided to commit to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that first show pretty scary?
It was. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I didn't know what I was doing. And when I went backstage, there was all these women back there and I was like, why don't I eat a healthy snack? Because my diet, for example, was albacore tuna, right? So I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? Bring albacore tuna. Well, that has tons of salt,
Okay.
which my body couldn't handle. So as the show was
Oh.
going, I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But
So you made a mistake in eating the wrong food on the day of the show.
yes.
And it was what was it just like it just yeah, it just messed you up kind
Yeah,
of?
because of the salt and everything.
I would have never known that.
Yeah, it's like like sometimes they'll have people load up on salt, sometimes not. It just depends. But
Okay.
with me, I'm like, you know what? Let me just do what my diet's been. But
Yeah.
at the same time, now that I look back at it, it's kind of like it was a fun experience
It was a
because it's
learning
trial and
experience.
error.
So what would you eat on the day of a show now that you know better? What
Now,
did you learn from that?
oh, now it's like very I just learned like it just depends on how everything looks the night before and morning.
Okay.
Because it may be just like have 4 ounce of chicken breast. Or one time when I competed, it caught me off guard. He was like, you need to go get 5 ounces of steak and 3 pancakes and half a tablespoon of syrup. And I'm like, where do I get that? So it's
Oh
like
my God.
it
Yeah.
changes depending on the look.
Right. So that was what was necessary that time. And your coach, who is your coach now?
It was at that time, his name was Fakri Mubarak.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's my current coach now.
Okay, cool. So you
Yeah.
stuck with him. He's been a good coach.
Yeah, there were times when I was using a different one, but then one thing I like about this coach is that I built such a rapport with him and with my physical body and structure that he knows my body type.
Right. So it'd be hard to get a different coach
Yes, because he's
because he's
learned.
actually been through all these shows and trial and errors with you. So he knows your
Yes.
body as well as you do.
Yes.
Ah, that's pretty cool that you get a relationship like that. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people understand like how important the coach
It's so
is in
important.
bodybuilding, right? If you get a good coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did you meet your coach?
Online, like through one of these online research. So
Yeah.
I've never even really met him in person.
Right. Isn't that
Yeah,
funny?
it's
There's so many
crazy.
coaches like that out there. Or I know so many coaches that train people online. And I mean, even like my coach, his coach is all online. Everybody's coach has a coach as well because, you got to
They
have,
all,
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like you need an impartial eye to look at you. You can't do it all yourself.
that is so true.
But it's cool that people are able to do that online, and then, that's opens you up to having like these really good coaches that are maybe
Yes.
not necessarily in your area, but you want to work with them. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's like you feel you at the end of the day you feel who cares. It's a companionship because it's all about details. When
Hmm.
someone says, "You know what? I just want to make sure, or I just want to look into this," that means that they're on top of everything and you want
Right.
that companionship.
Yeah, and if they're not listening to your concerns or needs, that's usually how people get turned off to coaches pretty fast.
Exactly.
So like, because I think part of being a coach, you have to, I mean, it's definitely a partnership where it's more than just like the numbers and the meal plans and there's definitely something like a mental connection too, where
Exactly.
or emotional connection, or so that's crazy. So that's a long time with that one coach. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
really
have any
good.
shows coming up?
Um, Not yet. Like we're trying to just see where my body goes in the next like 4 months. If we could put
Yeah.
on like um that development, like in
A
the
little
lower
more size.
body.
So you're working on
Yeah.
legs right now, trying to get the legs a little bit bigger. And
Yeah.
okay, that's really cool. Yeah, I love that commitment to fitness. It's like such a big part of
Yeah.
my life, and I couldn't imagine life without it.
It's like
Yeah.
a really amazing thing because no matter what, you always have a goal and
Hmm.
you always could work towards it. Like anything, you have a goal, but
Yeah.
this is something that is really cool because every day or every month you can make like these small changes that will just make everything better in the end.
Isn't that crazy how
It's
it's these small changes and they don't show up for weeks or months, but like you're adjusting things and then
yeah,
seeing, yeah, it's like really scientific in a way too,
it
isn't it?
is.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And so, how many competitions have you done?
I've done maybe like 12.
12 bikini
12.
competitions.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
It's
impressive.
yeah.
So that's just like it's a lifestyle at this point. And that's what's your favorite part about that? Is it like community? It's probably opened up a lot of opportunities for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then how far in were you when you decided to start doing the Fuelicious
Um,
desserts?
I
Because
was
that's exciting to me because like, when you are dieting or especially you're getting really leaner or even during your bulk and you want to have like a cheat meal or something, it's hard to find stuff that doesn't just throw your diet completely off. So,
exactly.
why don't you tell us a little bit about how did you get into the Fuelicious bakery? How did you get to the point where you decided I'm going to make like healthy dessert options for bodybuilders, I guess. Or
Um,
would you describe it that way? What would you say Fuelicious is? It's protein
it's
cookies.
like the way I think of it, it's like a healthier alternative to something that is really delectable and just
Yeah.
specialized. So its main goal is to make the consumer feel special. Like you want to
Okay.
feel when you get it that you're eating something healthy, but that it
It's a
tastes good.
treat.
Yeah, and then it
Yeah.
looks good. Like you want to feel
Yeah.
happy about it.
Well, it's exciting. I think I know a lot of bodybuilders do have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is, but it's like it's something fun. And then it's like I think it's like you want to have like the same kind of thing as the general population does, where they can like enjoy sweets and stuff, but you can't because you're on a strict meal plan. But
Yes.
so what you've done is you've made these, are they protein cookies or like what
Yeah.
goes into the making of it to make it? What makes it different than just a regular cookie that's full of sugar?
Well, we use like whey protein isolate and we use like organic vanilla extract.
Yeah.
And just we try to get like the best ingredients impossible in one. And
Okay.
like we do traditional ones where it's like your chocolate chip cookie, right? Without protein, but we make it like really clean as
So
possible.
like the best ingredients, it's not full of a bunch of like preservatives and stuff.
Yes. So it's like giving you
Okay.
that same texture, taste, but just putting quality.
Oh, that's so cool. So
Yeah.
you actually brought a bunch of these cookies. So let's they're all sitting right here. Why don't you tell us
Oh,
about some of these?
so this is like our chocolate chip.
So
We
this is
have,
just a plain I mean, it's look how huge that is.
yeah, that's our
And this
6
has
ounce.
fueliciousbakery.com on it. So that's where you can
Yes.
probably go check out the macros and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is a big chocolate chip cookie. So what makes that different from a regular cookie?
It's like, for example, there's so many on the market, and with
Yeah.
us, we want to tailor to both. So we want to
Yeah.
tailor to someone who wants a sweet treat and someone who wants to eat clean,
Right.
but we want that fine balance.
Like you don't want it to be too, like if you go get a protein bar, sometimes it can just taste like chalk.
Exactly.
And it's like, so, but this is like in the middle. So it's still like a cheat. It's like it's got real ingredients in it, but it's just going to be a little healthier than a regular chocolate chip cookie.
It's not like super healthy, but it's not one of those cookies that have refined sugars.
Yeah, so it's still like I eat this on my cheat day.
Yeah.
Or after a show, or like,
yeah.
But it's going to still be healthier than if I just ate a regular full of sugar chocolate chip cookie.
Exactly.
And it is cool. You did put a lot of work into how they look.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that looks like it's so big and like, yeah, so we got some of those. This is like a monster cookie.
Yeah.
You've got
6 ounce.
Wow. So, yeah, that's like got M&Ms in it and like, so that looks pretty impressive as well. So tomorrow is going to be my cheat day, so I'm definitely going to try some of these. Yeah.
That's great.
And then we've got like what is that, a peanut butter cookie?
That's the chocolate chip. That's our smallest
one. It's the smaller version.
That would be like a 2 ounce.
Yes.
And that's our dark chocolate.
So a dark chocolate. So you got different sizes.
Yeah.
So that would help people on meal plans, because it's like I have this many macros, I can do this today, but I can't have a big one, but I can have so you have to have the different sizes.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks pretty awesome.
And that's our white chocolate sprinkle.
Yeah, that one looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So
cool. Well, thank you for bringing these for me. I'm definitely going to be trying these. And so where is the Fuelicious Bakery based out of?
Redmond, Washington.
Okay, so you do this all at home, or?
I do like majority of it in a commercial kitchen, and then sometimes I take my work home with me.
I was gonna say you probably have to rent a big kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have this friend that has she just started making cakes.
Oh, okay.
And so I work in a brewery, postdoc brewery, and so her idea was to make craft beer cakes. So it's like, once they're baked and everything, there's not really any alcohol. I mean, a kid could still eat it, but but it is made out of beer. So she uses the beers to like a raspberry goza, which is a sour raspberry beer. She can take that and then make like a fruity filling. So then she could do like a raspberry vanilla cake, or like for the dark beers, she can make like chocolate cakes out of a stout, so like,
cool.
Yeah, so her stuff is pretty awesome, and it's taken off for her too. But I know she does the same thing where like she gets these big orders, and she has to make these big cakes, so she has to go to like a commercial kitchen to do it.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's a lot of work.
It's so much. Like it
really?
took
Is it a lot? Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Because I mean, also we do shipping, and it's like,
okay,
you have to keep the customers happy no matter what. It's about the packaging. If they break, getting it there.
Yeah.
It's a whole process in itself, but every year I've invested to this, and every month you learn more and more.
Yeah, that's got to be interesting. So how many states do you ship to?
I ship mainly like here, Texas, Florida, and it's really expanding. Like Kuwait, like we just started shipping internationally. Like,
oh my God, that's awesome.
yeah, because
I can see why, because I mean they just look so good.
Thank you.
So like I'll find out tomorrow when I have one. But
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. So what year did you start the bakery?
I started like wanting to make my own business was 2018. And then until 2019 I actually start like going to seminars, putting the product out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then were you able to take your product to like different bodybuilding shows and stuff like that, and kind of set up, and then was that something where you took you went out and then trial and error, you would do different things, try them, and then see how people responded?
Exactly.
Is that how you got to like basically where you're at now with the recipes and stuff?
Yeah, because my number one thing, I'm like, anything with any business, you always want to build trust first. So I was like, you know what? You put the customers first over profit, but really get out there, like have the people taste it, have them have that experience with the owner, with the brand, with the product, then worry about like selling, because
Right.
everything is about trust, because when they eat it they want to know like, is it good? How's the taste? Did I get my money's worth?
Yeah.
And does the advertisement speak for itself?
Because then they're gonna buy again, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, what was like the first big product that really took off, or what's your best seller? Like,
Oh, out of all the things, like my main thing now is cookies, right?
yeah.
But
And
when
so, what other stuff do you do? Other things
I
too?
do like cakes, brownies.
Oh my God!
And my
Yeah.
number one thing back then when I started was, out of all things, cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Yeah. Which I
Yeah.
don't make, like, I don't promote a lot now, because now with shipping, I'm like,
There's no way to hardly ship a
it's very hard to
cheesecake.
ship that.
I couldn't imagine. It's probably more expensive to ship it than the profit you make from it.
Oh, yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
try to, like, I'll never, like, say it to the customers. I
Yeah.
always try to find an alternative for them, but I'm like, to ship a cake without it getting messed up.
Mm.
Because there's things like goldbelly.com where they're like, we'll ship you a pizza, we'll ship you a cake, but
Yeah.
with the stuff that goes into the ingredients, you have to remember we're not using all those other fillers and sugars. So by the time you get the cheesecake,
Right.
it's gonna break down, especially like our keto one. They're very
Oh.
specialized.
That's cool though. You make a keto like cheesecake and stuff.
Yeah.
So for around this area, you could order one, but it'd be so hard to ship it.
We actually did once a wedding cake to Texas.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
how
A
we
wedding
did it.
cake?
Yeah, it's not one of those big ones. Maybe like a
Yeah.
3-layer, two to 3-layer.
Okay. Do you do a lot of wedding cakes?
I've done a few, not so many, but
Right.
in
That's
the
pretty
last
cool though.
year-
That'd be a cool thing to get into.
Yeah,
So
pretty cool.
when you ship all this stuff, how do you even manage all that?
I just take it one order by one.
And do you do this all yourself, or do you have a team?
You know, it's pretty much me.
Yeah.
It's been pretty much me, and I've been trying to expand it more because, for example, when it was spring, we got into the cottage handlers permit to be at the farmers markets, which was
Yeah.
like, this is great because all that is inspection. They come inspect cleanliness, ingredients, everything, and that takes with all those permits, that takes time. But once it got granted, I was so excited, and I'm like, you know what, that's great. And they're like, well, it's going to be Wednesdays and Fridays. I'm like, but I'm working at that time.
Oh, so you
I was
couldn't
like,
even.
I couldn't even do it.
Oh, that sucks after all that
know.
work
I
going through.
know.
Well, hopefully this will take off for you, and then you can just
Could
do
build more.
this. That'd be like the dream, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just an awesome market because I think people want healthy alternatives that still
Yeah.
taste like delicious, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's crazy because with like a cheesecake, or it's cool that you're using like real stuff and not using fillers and preservatives and all that, because that probably does make your job harder.
It does.
Because of,
It
like you
really
said,
does.
stuff will break down easier with shipping, or like, but it is like, I mean, like if you order like a Sara Lee pie or something, I'm sure you could ship it anywhere because it's probably full of like all kinds of stuff. It just keeps it together, you know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's hard.
Yeah, and there's other companies, and in the bodybuilding community and fitness world, cookies in itself has become such a competitive market. You go to the Olympia.
Really?
Oh my gosh, there's like
I was trying to tell my friend that in the bodybuilding, like in the bodybuilding community or the bodybuilding world, the market, like desserts, because I told her with her cake, I'm like, you should try to get into
Yeah.
that market. So it's getting super competitive.
oh my gosh, with cookies alone, like
Yeah.
the other companies, they're I'll give you an example. I never put another company like down,
Right.
but I will give them credit because you see their product everywhere. They're called My Cookie Dealer in
Yeah.
Olympia. And
I've heard of them.
Yeah, and they make I make 8-ounce, but I usually keep my biggest ones to 6-ounce.
Yeah.
So they make these 8-ounce cookies, which are just like, they have like cannoli filled,
Oh,
cheesecake filled.
Dang.
And to be honest, they are really good, right?
Right. That's how if you look at them as inspiration,
Exactly.
instead of like looking at it as competition, which it is your competition, but like you should always be inspired by your competition, not
There you
bitter.
go.
Because if you keep a
Yeah.
positive attitude, like you want to look up to people that are better than you or on the same level as you and get inspired. It's always like the people that get bitter and angry. Those are the ones that start to fail. I
You
feel
go
like.
down. Like,
Yeah.
you can only go up
Yes.
when you're looking up.
Mm-hmm.
And like with them, when I saw that, I was like, how did they do that? Even when I did my packaging, I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm not as big as them, but what they're doing good, I could learn from that and
Right.
do my own twist on it.
Yeah. So you're doing the right thing. That's what you do. Is like
You know?
you look and you get inspired by it, and you're like, what are they doing right? I can do as good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's
exactly.
good. So like, how many ounces is this one?
So that one's a 6 ounce.
So that's the biggest.
Yeah. Well, I do
Dang.
8 ounce too.
Oh, now you started doing 8 ounce.
Yeah. So there's
But
the
yeah, you're
eight
right. The
ounce.
packaging is great too.
Yeah.
And I've seen you like have like giant boxes of these. So like, is that at like bodybuilding shows or like afterwards?
Yeah.
That's what because I saw on your Instagram. So is that something where like, if you do you get a big order for a show, or do you take them there and then sell them right at the show, or
I
like?
so I usually will sponsor the show, and then for athletes they'll get a sample for each bag,
Yeah.
and then I promote business saying, on Fridays they could have their orders delivered to the host hotel.
Okay, so that gets so they get to have it and try it, and then they enjoy it, and then they want to buy some.
Exactly. And it's like a win-win situation because the event gets product, the athletes gets product, business is made, there's a booth. So in the end, it's like everybody wins and the business gets out there and the athletes have like a treat they could enjoy.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so when you have a big order like that, do you have to it's got to be so much work.
Yeah.
So you have to like go rent the kitchen. And then how do you when you make these, are you using like a lot of I don't know, or does your forearm get tired from mixing, or what is it like? Do you get to use like a lot of like machines and stuff to help? And
in the kitchen.
yeah, they have like
so
the
they
big
have
mixers
the big ones.
and
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Is the cookie dough good?
It's good.
I was gonna say I
it's
love
good.
cookie dough.
Yeah.
There was this company called Kingline Nutrition.
Yes.
And
They're good.
They're really good. I've gotten
Really
their cookie
good.
dough. I had to stop buying it because I eat it too much.
Yeah, it's
I'm
so
like,
fat.
so
You can
good.
eat the whole jar easily.
Oh my god, it's
It's
like
so
it's
easy.
so easy to eat. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Something about it because it's like in dough form. You're just like, ooh, that's good.
Yeah, and their stuff, like, it's really clean. You read
It
the
is, though.
ingredients, I'm like, how did they do that?
Well, that's the cool part about it is like even if I screw up and ate the whole bag, I was like, oh, that's not even that many calories.
Yeah.
Because I was getting it in the powder form where you mix it yourself. Or I don't know, the jar. Well, the powder one they have is actually a little bit healthier even.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't have as much oil. When they put it in the jar pre-mixed, they have to put some kind of oil in it
To keep it.
to keep it as cookie
Yeah.
dough. But if you buy like the powdered bag form, it's even less calories because you just mix
yeah.
water into it.
Okay.
So that is one good thing. Like I stopped buying it because I have a show coming up and I need to get really strict and serious right now. But I do think it's a good option too. That's another company you could definitely like. Their flavors and stuff are so cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did you come up with all your different flavors and stuff?
I just kind of, whichever flavors were my favorite, and
Yeah.
then kind of expanding. Like, I'll be thinking, I always keep like a notepad and a pencil with me, and random ideas will hit me. I'll be like, Oreo and marshmallow and white chocolate saved. Like, I'll think of these combinations, and I just keep any business
It's
ideas.
a creative endeavor then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that does sound good. Oreos with marshmallows.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Well, it's probably fun and creative to kind of come up with all these different
Yeah.
flavors. And so what's your goal with the business? You want to just like, would you like this to become like your main source of like, do you ever think it would get that big or?
I do want it to expand, and I kind of want it to go in hand with my competing, and then I do.
Right. It's not something where you want to stop competing. No.
Yeah.
You're going to keep doing that. How many more years do you think you want to do that? As long as you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much like as long as I still have it in me to want to do it.
Right.
You know, that it's part of it will always be part of me, but just something that feels right.
Okay. And
Yeah.
do you end up eating a lot of your own stuff?
I'll end up like I have my own favorites, but a lot of times like I don't want sweets that much
Well, I was
anymore.
gonna say, yeah, you
I'm
probably,
always around it.
yeah, you're around it so much. Because I always wonder that with my friend with her cake business, if she ever gets sick of cake.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're making it so much and everybody loves it, but it's like, man, I've had it over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're still delicious, I'm sure.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. So with with competing, let's see. I guess like what do you have any kind of methods that like what's your if you had advice for people about bikini competition, like people interested in it, what kind of advice would you give people?
I think the advice I would give them is to just have faith in themselves, believe in themselves. And, you know, we always hear this like take one day at a time, but truly take one day at a time because every day is an opportunity. Every day is a blessing. Like sometimes we take for granted, like, okay, we have a gym, we have the food, we have, and what we eat is clean, and we have water, we have all these things
Oh yeah.
that are accessible to us. And it's like, here are the resources, here's what you need to do. Just take it one day at a time because every day is like truly a blessing and just make the best out of it because nowadays even myself included, and I've done this for years, we compare ourselves to a lot of people. And with social media nowadays, you're like, you know what, even if it's someone you admire or somebody that inspires you, you
Yeah.
kind of be like, you know what, they're doing this, I'm not doing that. They have this, I don't have that. But you have to be like, you know what, that's their journey. I
Yeah.
admire what they're doing, but I'm in control these next 24 hours with what I have and my resources now. How can I get myself that much better today? So at the end of the day, even if it's not like this huge thing that you accomplished, they're like little tweaks and little things you did each day that make you the person that you are.
I think that's such good advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it's I do think that like it's kind of what you say about like even with the cookies you know, if you look to these other companies and you got jealous or bitter, it wouldn't help you at all to make your
Yeah.
product better. So instead of that, you're saying like get inspired by those companies. It's the same way with like, you know, watching everybody else on social media and I think right now there's so many people killing it on social media. And if you do, you know, they always say like comparison is the thief of joy. So it's like, yeah, keep focused on yourself. And then if you do see people that are really killing it, and like, you know, if I'm watching like Chris Bumstead or like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to look like Chris Bumstead, but like I can get inspired by him. You know what I mean? I can aspire to have the work ethic that he has. So instead of being jealous of him, I'm going to look at him and get like inspired to what is he doing? You know, like look at what is he doing that's making him so great? And it's like, what can I do better in my own life to try to be that way? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So instead of getting like upset or like jealous of other people, you can look to them and get inspired by like find out like what are they doing that's making them so great? How did they, you know, how did they attain this? So if it's like they have something that I want that I feel like I don't have, I have two options. I can get mad about it and feel jealous, or I can look at what they're doing and try to be like, how can I get that in my life and better myself, you know?
Exactly.
So that was really well put, I thought, what you just said.
Thank you. That's
So what do you think the hardest part about like bikini competition is it dieting? Is it working out? Is it
I would say I think that differs for every person. Some people may be
right?
like the diet is a breeze or the workouts are fine. I think especially for a woman,
Yeah.
I think it's just sometimes like that confidence, you know, is having that
So insecurity, battling against insecurity
yeah.
and Yeah. Do you find, what kind of tricks do you find that keep you more confident or help you with your confidence versus insecurity?
Just consistently improving myself, and that's what I've told other women, because with this company I work with, they're called Angel Competition Bikinis, and they're all about women
Yeah.
showcasing
Empowerment.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
when women are around those same mind like women, they're
Yes.
just, you could see them like open up, and then you realize that men and women together, they all share very similar things. And once you learn that concept, like you gain more confidence, and especially helping others. Like that's the one
Right.
thing I believe in. I'm like, you want to be good at anything you do, whatever that art or hobby is, learn it to help others with it. And when
Yes.
you start becoming the teacher through teaching other people, you're like, you know what? I just learned this, I just learned that. And you better, everybody.
Right. It fills you up, like your spirit or your soul when you're helping other people. It's when it becomes a less selfish thing. So it's like maybe you start something because you want it yourself, but then yeah, the more that you can like help other people with it, it seems to make you better at it too. You know, like
Exactly.
yeah. So you're talking a lot about like keep like reframing things so that it's in a positive light. So like that's what it seems like you're saying. Like
Yes.
so you don't really let yourself get to a negative place too much, huh?
Because I believe, like, I believe bodybuilding is a physical sport, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, sometimes, like, let's say your body is your canvas. It's your artwork. You're
Right.
consistently working on it. But
Yeah. Everybody's all the bodybuilders that come in here, and girls and guys both have all kind of considered it an art form.
yeah,
You
and the
know.
thing is like the mental aspect. What I believe, like when it comes to the training, the diet, it is the art form, but I believe everything starts here. It's whatever you believe.
Mental.
If you could visualize yourself being successful on stage,
Yeah.
it's all mental.
Well, it's kind of like so when even this morning, I just did it. Like every day when I get up, I do a shower. I shower and then I do this thing where I believe in the cold shower because I don't
Oh
have a
yeah,
cold, I don't have a cold plunge or anything. And I'd like to eventually, start doing like the cold baths and everything because they're so beneficial for your health. But I know that cold showers are. So what I'll do is like, I'll do my shower and then at the very end of it, I'll just turn it on the coldest it'll go.
oh
And
yeah, yeah.
so
I've heard
like
of
so this
that.
is kind of it's going along with what you're saying with the mental, keeping your and then like so as I turn it on the coldest, I repeat this like mantra to myself.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what it is cuz it's personal to me,
Yeah.
but I just repeat these like five things, and I'll do it like two or three times while the cold is running on my back, and then I'll turn to the front. So then I'll be like, and then I'll say it again, like, because that's how I'm gauging how long I can handle the cold.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, say the mantra three times, and then maybe tomorrow I'll try it four times, And
Good.
but I feel like that is good because you're kind of brainwashing yourself to believe these, whatever it is. You could say I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm this, whatever it is. But it's kind of like that's what you're talking about with confidence is like, and I think it is hard for women sometimes because they're even, I mean, men too, super self-critical, and then constantly comparing themselves to people on Instagram or, and there's a lot of pressure to look good as a woman, I imagine. I mean, men too. But it's like, how do you get confident? You have to believe in yourself. So, like, instead of telling yourself negative things in your head, if you can do that every day, your brain doesn't know the difference. It'll literally get brainwashed into believing what you're telling it.
It's so
So if you tell
true.
yourself positive things and like, I'm strong, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I can handle, like your brain will start to believe it, and then I think in turn you'll become much more confident.
And you radiate, like you
Yeah.
if you believe it, you radiate. Even with what you do, I remember in the beginning, when I started, when I was focused on macros and things like that, a lot of
Yeah.
people, they didn't really believe in it or believe in me that
But you had to
much.
believe in yourself.
Yes. And
So that had to be hard.
it had to, especially going out there, because I'm like, this is my passion. I want to expand it.
Right.
And when I went out there, I would have some people be like, pick it up and be like, I don't want that. And like kind of go like this.
And you couldn't take it personal.
I,
Imagine if you did. Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Imagine. So I think about that even like with the podcast. When I first started doing it again, there was all these technical problems. So like I would come in here and record a podcast and then it wouldn't save it. So I just would have a guest that traveled, I don't know how far to get here, and they give me 3 hours of their time, and then I have to tell them like, hey, your podcast didn't save. I'm so sorry. Can we do it again? That was Mark. He came back.
Mark,
yeah, and so like and it happened a few times where I had lost probably 3 or 4 podcasts, and I didn't know what to do, but it's kind of like, imagine if the first time somebody came up to your cookie and they were just like, I don't want that or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was hard, but imagine if that would have been enough to make you stop. Then you wouldn't be where you are. So that's the thing about like, and same with like the podcast. If I would have gave in and been like, oh man, I can't deal with these technical issues. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to quit. I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah.
Now it's up and running smoothly, and it's the same thing with your business. It's like, so I guess it's kind of just like not listening to criticism and believing in yourself.
Believing. Everything is like faith for me. I'm like, just one step of faith. I'm like, and keep trying, because no matter what, if you're trying, nothing bad is going to
right. And if you don't give up, it's going to make it. If you can keep going, even though somebody says this or says that or says you can't do it, eventually you're going to make it.
Yeah.
Because everybody else stopped. And a lot of those people that stopped, that's what they're doing. They're just bitter. So they want to put everybody else, like that happens too. It's like they maybe weren't able to make their dream happen. So they're going to tell you like, well, what are you talking about? You're going to make this cookie company? You can't do that. That's just unrealistic. You would never want to listen to those people telling you to be realistic, because it's like,
yes, that's
for real. You can't listen to those people.
Yeah, because that's their own version of.
That's their own limitations that they're putting on themselves, and they're trying to put it on you to make themselves feel comfortable.
Exactly.
And you don't want to listen to those people, so because you would have never gotten where you are now,
I know. It's like every day just being the best that I can and putting it out there, and building that trust with others, and also accepting that some people are just not going to like it, and that's okay.
Right.
It just might not be their thing. Like, instead of being like, why did he or she not like it? Some people, that's just not their thing, and that's completely fine.
And I've talked a lot about that on here with, people being people pleasers.
Yeah.
And if you're a people pleaser, you want everybody to like you. And the thing is, like, if you're going into business for yourself, or you're putting yourself out there in any kind of way, there's just going to be haters sometimes that are like, I don't like her cookies. And it's like, there's no reason for it, but you can't focus on them. You have to focus on the people that love your product, that believe in you, believe in your product. And like, those are the people that are, going to be the ones that are supporting you. So like, it's kind of like reading comments online. You don't really ever want to read the negative stuff, because it just doesn't mean anything.
That's true.
It's usually, so yeah, that's a lot of adversity, I'm sure, at the beginning with when you get this idea, because what you said, it was 2018 and then 2019 and now we're 2022, and you're starting to like ship to like different states, different countries. Like, if you would have stopped and quit, that never would have happened,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I imagine at the beginning, were a lot of people like thinking you were crazy for wanting to start a business?
A little bit. They were skeptical. They're like, "Oh, why don't you focus your energy on something else? Just make it a hobby." But I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not brand it? Why not build a website? Why not put it out there? Because it's a passion of mine. And one of the things that really inspired me was like, even if they're healthy or that they taste good, I noticed that after a show, like, people want their cheat meal or their sweets, but all this, the core, the whole body is so sensitive after a show.
Right.
And it's like you could enjoy that, but just remember that the few days later, you don't want to be hurting and you want to keep that body. You want to do photo shoots afterwards. So I'm like,
So this is an alternative to eating real sweets that are maybe going to screw your body up.
yeah, because even if you eat like the really healthy ones, they add these sugar alcohols, which,
Yeah.
bring down the content of the sugar, but add these other things.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's going to
So your
hurt.
stuff is much more natural. So it's like you
Yes.
probably do you use like real sugar and
Real, like, yeah,
because
for
that's
sweet.
almost better. I feel like sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or there's like coconut sugar. There's all these healthier alternatives. There's so many
And do you use like any seed oils or anything like that?
not yet. No,
I
I
was gonna
use
say
like,
because I heard those are bad actually.
oh,
Like
okay.
what kind of stuff do you is there oil?
We use coconut oil
That's
and
a
ghee.
good healthy.
Yeah, it's really good and it's perfect for baking because it like could withstand that
And the
temperature.
flavor of coconut oil is so good. So
Yes.
that to me just says like your products must be super healthy because like, I mean, coconut oil and olive oil, those are like the safest, the best oils, I
The
think.
best. There's avocado too, but
Oh, and
yeah.
avocado oil is a great one. But yeah, I've been hearing, I just listened to this podcast with this guy talking about foods that we use and how seed oils are so bad and they're starting to put them in everything, you know? And like,
Really?
yeah, they're just, I don't know what I'm talking about half the
Oh,
time. Just some shit I heard. I just say shit. I don't know if it's
that's
true or
okay.
not.
You're
I'll
like,
just
I don't
say, yeah.
know.
But no, I mean, I think that is true if you research it. It's like, seed oils, and it's I think they've used them for lubrication and stuff like that too. But it's just like I guess they break down and they're
Oh
just like
yeah,
they're not
they're
good.
not
There's
good.
something about them. I should probably research shit before I just say it online,
No,
but
it's
it's fine.
fine.
But I know for a fact that like avocado, coconut, olive oil, that's like so like
That's it.
what would be like the ingredients in something like one of these like
So
big
this
chocolate chip
one,
cookies?
we have our gluten-free flour,
Yeah.
tapioca, sea salt, dark chocolate chips, vanilla whey protein isolate, baking powder, and baking soda.
So basic, so
It's very
simple.
basic.
Oh man,
Very
that
basic.
sounds so good right now.
So,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
think that's the point. That's the way to do it is keep it clean, keep it basic,
Yeah.
and not just because it's healthy, but also like there is that market for it where because people want to be healthy, they don't want a bunch of shit in there. You know, they don't want a
Yeah.
bunch of extra stuff in there.
Yeah, because
You
they want
know,
to feel good. Because you know that when you come off a show, there's that adrenaline. Then with the other shows at the Olympia, like I was talking to Adam, he runs the Team of Light coaching. He was saying, I won't let my athletes eat this because they've had such small calories and that sugar drop in them. He says, I don't want that happening. So it's like,
well, I know dudes that have like yeah, the minute that after a show or whatever, they'll go way too crazy and then like a month later they gained like 40 pounds and like they've and
yeah,
that's always I think what you're scared of after the show. So like what you know after my show, like I'm gonna try to be real, like obviously I think you want to go enjoy. I'll probably have some of your stuff after my show. That's a good
oh
plan.
yeah,
But I feel like you're right. So like your body's in such a restricted state that like if you're not careful with what you eat, it's gonna it
it's
could you could be in some pain just from digesting and like but
yeah.
everything you just said in here is like that's all natural stuff. You
And
know
it
what I'm
keeps you
saying?
so full.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
can only have like 3 ounces of it. It keeps you really full.
Well, and that's a good thing
Yeah.
too when you're dieting is something that's going to satiate you and make you feel full because it's like
Yes.
yeah and it shouldn't the other thing is like after a show probably insulin spikes from sugar and
Yes.
stuff and if you do
See.
that it's like causes you to want more and more and more and then you overeat too much you know but
Yeah.
if you keep it all natural and clean the chances of that happening seem a little
It's
bit less yeah.
that's true.
So how many is there any other things besides cookies cakes
Um,
is there any other like new things that you are working on or something that you're excited about?
we do nut butters and we do like gummy bears and
Gummy bears?
yeah.
And what's are they just regular gummy bears or
Oh,
like
we do detox, BCA, pre-workout.
oh hell
It's
yeah.
really cool. I should have brought some of those,
That's
but
dope. So see that's like I'm sponsored by that Boss Bear. There's a bottle. It's empty. I already
oh,
used it.
okay.
But yeah, that's another one. They do like apple cider vinegar gummies. I think that's kind of a
so
new.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a new thing that's
It's
getting big, and I think there is something beneficial about the gummy form because it like helps your body digest better or something. Because I was reading a thing about whether, because they do pill form too, but there's some evidence that actually the gummy version is better because the sugars in the gummy actually help your body like absorb what's in there. So I don't know, but that was just something that they had put out there. But
cool.
so that's cool. So you're getting into that too. So like supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the two like edibles.
But still on brand with being a treat because it's a gummy.
Because it's fun.
And then like the nut butters, those are fun.
Yeah.
So what flavors of nut butters do you have?
We do birthday cake, chocolate, caramel, sea salt. We have about 4 different flavors.
See, that's what's fun because it's like you could have that, I feel like, on your regular diet. So like if I have on my meal plan, cream of rice in the morning and a serving of peanut butter.
Yeah.
So 16 grams of peanut butter. I could probably buy the nut butter and it's going to be close enough in calories. So like I could have one little scoop of that, mix it in with my cream of rice, and then it would be birthday cake cream of rice.
Exactly.
So I feel like that's something you could enjoy like
yeah,
almost all the time.
Exactly.
Is if you can do it in moderation.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's hard not to eat the jar. It's like when you get peanut butter, you're like, ooh, that's pretty good. But maybe save it for a cheat day. But so that's cool. So you got birthday cake. Say those flavors again. I gotta hear it.
Birthday cake, chocolate, caramel, sea salt, and we have like kind of like an M&M mix.
It's almost like a monster cookie type of thing with M&M.
Yeah.
So what's the? Do they all have different bases of nut butter?
Well, you could
like
choose,
the birthday cake's probably almond butter. Or
that one's cashew.
Oh, cashew.
But we could do almond butter.
No, that makes sense. Cashew butter, yeah.
Yeah, but we couldn't do any variation.
I'm gonna have to look those up. I'm excited about that.
So,
Because I've used those before and they are good.
Yeah,
when you get those nut
really
butters
good.
with a little, and if you keep the stuff mixed in where it's not too much of it, it doesn't add that many extra calories.
Yeah, you look at the only difference between like if we were to do like the birthday cake one is we add like a little bit of organic sprinkles.
Yeah.
You have the whey protein inside of it too.
And so you're also getting extra protein from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And what we do, we have our own birthday cake flavoring extract, which has no calories in it.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
it gives
like
it the flavor.
it just gives you flavor.
God, that's so cool. They sell those at like super supplements and stuff.
Yeah, they have.
So imagine like someday you could get into places like that probably.
Yeah,
when you scale up the business and everything. And
yeah,
if you keep telling you, I bet in a couple more years it'll take off.
I hope so.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like it will. If you just keep believing.
And even like with the packaging, like there's always goals I have. I'm like, you know what? This could always be better because what I want is like when you turn it around to have like that nutrition facts label.
Well, I think that would be super smart. Because in our community, like, especially when you're getting really down to the wire with macros and you're, start getting into a deficit and everything, you want to be super sure about what you're eating.
Exactly.
And so bodybuilders and people in fitness, they love to be able to see like, oh, this actually works. I could have this. And then know exactly what macros are in it,
Yeah.
And if that was printed right on the packaging, oh my God, I feel like that's a smart move. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, bam, they could be like, oh, this many calories. Shit, I could eat the whole thing today.
Exactly.
It's like I saved up all my calories just to eat that cookie. Like you could do stuff like that. So
that's so true.
That's fun. Okay, so like always trying to make it better is a sign that it's probably you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Because I always see that in people that like even like Jay was here yesterday talking about his photography, and he's like how self-critical he is, and I'm like, but that's a good thing. If you weren't self-critical, I wouldn't think you're going to be a good photographer.
Yeah.
So people who because it's like if you're most great artists or people great at anything, they're always critical. They'll put something out, and then the minute they put it out, they're like, man, I could have done that better.
I could have done that better.
That could have been better. And then, so next time, guess what? It is better because they've they've, like you said, you're always making your notes, and you're like, you get an idea and you'll make a note, and like that's what people do that are good at things. They just constantly are revising it and trying to make it better, and it's like, and that's why it takes. And so if you've been doing this since 2018, that's, I mean, imagine in like another 5 years how good you'll be at it.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff. So, and then keep doing bikini competitions, obviously. And it's also like, I feel like if you're probably a good spokesperson for it because you're so healthy yourself.
Yeah.
So it shows like I believe in health and quality, and like then people want to buy your product because, you know, they see you as like, well, she's super healthy, so like she must care about that, you know?
Yeah. And also, like with that, with the modeling, it all kind of goes hand in hand. So competing, doing the modeling, doing the business, it all...
Oh, it all
they're
works
all
together.
three. You know, it's just learning how to be a benefit to other people. Because I'm like, how can I... When I do like the modeling, for example, it's not just like, okay, let's just have pictures. It's like, what can I do for the photographer versus what I'm wearing versus, so everybody, it's like everybody benefits.
Right, definitely. Yeah, wanting to always like not just make it about yourself.
Exactly.
Right, and that's like what great coaches do too. That's what always blows my mind when you see, you know, people who are coaches but they're still killing it themselves in the gym, and they're competing themselves, because it's like they have to put all that energy out to like their clients and everything, but also keep enough energy so that they're not slipping on their own diet, workout, meal plan. And it's the same for you. So like you want to put a bunch of energy into this and do a good job, but you don't want to start slipping on your, you know, own diet and bikini and goals. So like it's, but they all do work together. So that's the cool thing. And because I think that with, you know, I got the podcast, I've got, I'm going to be training people myself, and then I work at the bar. And so it's like trying to give enough energy, but I don't want to quit any of those things, because you can't put your energy into too many different things, or you're going to, you're just going to fail. You only have so much energy. But I think if they work hand in hand and they kind of supplement each other, like this bikini competition, modeling, those all go together.
Exactly.
So they all kind of are feeding the same thing. So you still have your energy and that. So I think that you can do that, but it's like when you get too stretched too thin, you got to be careful of that too.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
But also like not making it just about you, and giving back. Like that's what I want to do with training, is I want to help other people get healthy. You know, and that's why that's a passion of mine. It's always been a passion of mine with lifting has. And it's like, how can I, you know, make money with that, a skill that I have that I've done, you know, I've lifted for over 20 years, but then also like help other people. Because I know what value it's brought to my life, you know. And I mean, even at that level, that's like what these cookies do, because it's like, you know more than anybody with like dieting and everything, like wanting to have healthy, good snacks that's not going to like destroy your diet. So it's like, what do you think the hardest part about dieting is for you? Have you, like, when you get down to a bikini competition close to a show, are you just like starving?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I think what...
You've done it 12 times though, so that's crazy.
After a while, you just kind of learn the formula and just maximizing every meal, and just always kind of, I don't know, I kind of separate myself. So come those last 6 weeks, I think of I kind of take each, like let's say I'm having 5 to 6 meals a day. I take each as a supplement. Like I consider it like fuel. I'm like, you know what?
It has nothing. It's not like enjoyment. It's not food to enjoy it. It's just the necessary nutrients that I need.
Just for those 6 weeks, you know, just for that last time, I'm like, just take it day by day, meal by meal. Don't think about it.
Right. I think that's healthy to think of it that way, because that's what well, and I've talked about that on this show as well. Like the weird thing about food, and even what you're doing with keeping your products so clean and without preservatives and without all these, like, the weird thing about food is it's like it can either be poison or medicine. So like I you know, if you start eating a bunch of stuff that's like low quality food that's maybe got a lot of preservatives and, it's like low nutrient food, and it's just like, because I don't like, I have friends who have been in like dealt with people with eating disorders and stuff like that. So I don't like to ever say like, some food is bad and some food is good, but there is definitely certain food that is like low quality, ultra processed, low in nutrients. And when you eat too much of it, it's definitely it's like putting poison into your body in a sense, because it'll mess up your gut health. It'll mess up like the systems in your body. And so the thing about it is food can be like a poison, because it's like, if you start eating junky food, low quality food like that, and you do it consistently for a while, your body becomes less healthy. It becomes more susceptible to like disease and stuff. So like you can eat yourself into sickness.
It's so true.
So then you eat low quality foods for a while. Now you're susceptible to like a cold worse than somebody else was. Your body's defenses are not as good as they could be. And then on the other hand, if you're eating good quality food that's healthy and full of nutrients, it can be like a medicine.
Yes.
So it's like food can be like a poison or a medicine, and that's what's like. So it's having an alternative where you can eat something that's kind of fun, like a cookie or a cake, but still have it be in line with what your goals are, where you're trying to keep your body healthy and not susceptible to disease or aging. Or I think that's super great.
It's so true. And like having that right balance of like dark chocolate or real sugar or brown sugar, coconut sugar, because that inside in the body is going to tell the body, I got my sugar, but it's not going to be, when you eat that, it's not going to be processed the same way as if you were to get another one. And also, I'm working on adding more collagen into my products, but that just doing that though, it sounds great, but the expense of it,
Is it expensive?
If I were to keep putting in a product, because
that would be a cool benefit though, because like, I mean, I take a collagen supplement every day, the collagen proteins. I take 2 scoops of that every day.
Awesome.
And that's one thing that like is super beneficial. I've noticed that big time with it.
So it's such a huge benefit, and like it's kind of like saying you are what you eat. Like imagine if you have that, if you have collagen, it's just, you want things that are going to make you feel good, look good, and it just, especially if you're a consumer, when you buy something, you want to know like, hey, I bought this, but I want to feel good about what I bought.
Right. You don't want to feel bad. That's the worst thing, is like if you do have like a cheat day or like, and you eat something and then like you feel regret afterwards, or like, so if you eat something that is healthy and good for you, you feel so good about it afterwards.
You do.
You know what I mean? So it, like you said, it like fuels you up. It gives you what your body needs, like what it's craving, which is nutrients and nutritious stuff that's valuable. Because like you said, we're made out of what we eat, literally.
Yeah.
Our body creates tissue out of the food we put in it. So like if you're giving it good ingredients, like it's gonna make, you're gonna feel better. You're gonna feel healthier.
You're gonna feel so much better.
And in the same token, like if you go eat a bunch of stuff that like when I'm eating clean, and then if I go out and like eat a pizza or something, like I feel terrible. But then at the same time, you could probably make a good healthy pizza too. It's good if you put in good, So it is about the quality of what you're putting in there. Like I remember I used to do landscaping when I was young, and there was this woman. She was like it was like at an assisted living, so like a bunch of people that are like elderly.
Yeah.
And so this one woman would always like make us a bunch of food, but she would like go to the farmer's market and get like the best quality everything. It was like probably the first time I ever had like a tortilla that was like homemade out of like organic flour from like the co-op and every, versus like a tortilla that you buy at the store. And I remember how different you didn't feel, it felt so like good for you.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy. It's so different than like the store-bought stuff, if you're like, so yeah, the stuff you put in your products is like huge,
It really is.
Yeah. And so where do you get a lot of the stuff that you use?
I order it like through online, so I'll do research, and then I usually will find things through like Amazon that I could buy in bulk.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep,
then our
that's important.
main, yeah, and our main protein person is Dave from Species Nutrition. Dave
Okay.
Palumbo. He did or he does like RX
Dave
Muscle.
Palumbo?
Yeah, I'm sure
Okay.
you've seen his
I should.
work
I'll have to
before.
follow him. What's
Okay.
so what is the protein? Is they have their own company too?
Yeah, it's Species Nutrition.
Species Nutrition. Okay, I'll have
Yeah,
to. We'll give
and
them a shout out too. That's cool.
yeah,
So yeah, so like almost all your cookies have protein in it.
yeah, about like more than half. And we do like traditional and gluten free too. So you
Right.
have that option.
Yeah, that's huge too, because a lot of people nowadays are gluten free too.
Yeah, a
You know,
lot.
so you have to have that option for them. So like probably there's probably no way to make a good keto cookie though, is there? Is that something you ever thought of?
There's
I was gonna say that's a big market too, is the
there's a
keto
big it's the
thing.
keto.
And I'm not really a big proponent of it. I mean, I think it can be okay.
Yeah.
Me, I do like carbs. I'm just like I don't. If you're in a deficit, I don't understand why you can't eat carbs. You know what I'm
Carbs.
saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's
you
true.
can still get as lean as you want, but I get it. It's like it's an easy way to create a calorie deficit, and people, especially people that have sedentary jobs, I feel like they are eating too many carbs anyway. So to just give
Yeah.
them an easy plan, like, hey, you just don't eat carbs, that could be super beneficial. So, yeah, is that something you've ever thought about trying as like a keto
Um,
cookie or
we
something?
we have that. Like we do like the
Mm,
peanut butter cookies and keto, which is like
okay.
pretty much our base is like the oils, the peanut butter, and we
Yeah.
use to hold it all together. We use like an almond flour,
Oh,
so
that's
it
how you
does
do
have
it.
carbs, but we
So it's like
use
all it's mostly like made out of nuts then. Like
pretty
so like almond
much.
flour. And then that's got to be hard to get it to like solidify though.
Yeah, so it's just like we bake it at our temperature, but after a while with the almond flour, there's also
Hmm.
coconut flour. It
Yeah.
holds pretty well together.
So that's cool. You actually have a real I bet it's delicious too.
It's pretty
I
good.
yeah, so almond flour, coconut, yeah, like that would probably be. So there you go. If you're looking for a keto product, they have that too.
It's,
I was gonna say because even like that King Line Nutrition, they definitely have some keto doughs,
yeah, they have the
cookie
keto
doughs,
doughs.
which I feel
Yeah.
like that would be easier to do keto because I mean maybe you can bake their stuff too though.
Some of their stuff I think you
You
could
can
bake.
bake, yeah.
Some are like, just out of like edible.
I'll tell you this though, the I definitely tried when I got the King Line Nutrition cookie dough. My favorite way to eat it is just as cookie dough because it's delicious.
Yeah.
But I did try baking it and it didn't look good like your stuff. I don't
It's
know.
different.
I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
if it
different
was
to
probably
bake
it was
it.
probably my own error because like I probably just didn't do it right or didn't add enough. Maybe you're supposed to add a little bit of oil to it or like.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when it didn't even like flatten out like a cookie. It just looked
Oh, we
like
just sit there.
it looked
Yeah.
almost like a biscuit. And then it was
Oh,
like it's tasted delicious as the dough. As the cookie, it wasn't so good.
oh,
So I'm
yeah.
like
So
excited to
that's,
try yours because they look like actual cookies.
oh,
You
thank
know what
you.
I'm saying? Like,
Thank you.
when you get something, it's like, that just looks, which is fine. I mean, that's kind of how certain protein bars are too, where you like get there's certain protein bars. Do you guys do any of that stuff? Like just protein bars or?
Surprisingly not.
Yeah, it's like
Surprisingly
that
not.
market's already.
There's so many out
Yeah, you should probably
there.
stick with just the. I was gonna say I do like super supplements is pretty cool. They have a lot of different protein bars, but some taste better than others, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Do you
true.
have any favorites like that or?
You know, there's one I actually like at Super Supplements, and I give them so much respect because it's really good. Um, have you heard of Legendary?
No, I don't think I've ever tried that one.
Oh, they're really good. They make these Pop Tarts where
Oh,
they
I
look.
have had those Pop
Do you
Tarts and
like
they're
them? See,
delicious. And you
they're
can eat them
so
even
good.
cold or toasted because even cold
Yeah,
they're good. And they taste like actually good.
they taste
They're,
right.
and I don't think the calories are too much or anything. Yeah, those are
Yeah,
good.
they're low in sugar. They're gluten free. They don't put too much bad stuff in it. They're good.
Yeah, I have had those. Those are good. I
They're
think they have a
good.
birthday cake one, a chocolate
Yeah,
one, like
red velvet.
ooh, is that the one to
They have
get?
one.
The red
Yeah,
velvet one?
yeah.
That sounds
So
good. Yeah, I love
yeah,
stuff like that.
That's
Red
good.
velvet. So like do you have any other like favorite kind of, like what's your favorite food in general?
Oh,
Not your stuff, but like
in
cheat
general.
meal, or like if you're gonna go out or you're gonna give yourself, or if you're on your off season and you get to have a really great meal, what's your favorite?
One, I kind of like everything, but
I
I
do
lean,
too.
yeah, I'm like everything I like. So if I do, I'm like, I like Mediterranean, I like Italian, I love
Ooh.
sushi.
I was gonna say sushi's my fave.
Oh yeah,
I feel like
isn't
that's
it
like,
the best?
and
Yeah,
it's like I say sushi, I mean sushi rolls. Like it's like,
yeah,
because I barely ever just eat the sashimi, just the plain fish. I like the rolls. I like the
yes,
different. I like the art of it even. You know, the way that they come out and they look
yes.
different. You get a dragon roll and it's got avocados on it, and like I can't imagine.
Misago,
Oh yeah, like how do they put that stuff together? That's an
yeah.
art form too.
Right?
Yeah.
I like when I see them do, I'm like, I have so much respect for that. Like, I'm like, how did they make it so perfectly?
Right. And then the flavor balance is perfect. That's what I like about it too.
Yes,
Like the sushi roll is such a like, it's a bunch of different flavors working together.
yes,
You
it's
know, so
so
it's not
good.
just a plain. Yeah, and yeah, it's just it's that's probably my favorite. I do like to, like, if I have a cheat, go just have a burger and fries.
That's always
Like it's
good.
always
Yeah.
good, and especially if it's like sweet potato fries,
Yes.
because they're like the best. Yeah, so
That's
that
true.
stuff's fun. Um, I end up talking about food on here way too much, you know. It's like
Yeah.
because I never eat anything, you know. It's like I'm on the
Oh,
same. No, I love my meal plan though. Like when
okay.
you're doing your bikini competition, what is like your, like what's a basic meal plan look like for you? Like even right now during the, what kind of stuff do you
Um,
mainly eat?
right now I'm in the off season,
Yeah,
so my diet consists of like cream of rice in the
yeah,
morning.
it's the
It's
best.
the best. It fills you up.
It fills you up, and it's you don't ever feel bad eating it. It's
Yeah.
like oatmeal can kind of
It
cause a lot of
stays.
like digestive stuff because it's a lot of like breaking it down. Cream of
Yeah.
rice is clean.
It's very like
Yeah.
simple. Um, chicken breast,
Hmm.
red meat,
Yep.
salmon,
Yeah.
tilapia if wanted. At this point, there he's like, if you want to do the
I do
tilapia,
love tilapia, but just the smell of cooking fish is so hard. Like in the house.
yes, and
Yeah, it's like, oh, I just don't want to put my roommate through that, you know.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
but it is delicious. I
it's
do love
good.
fish.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's the basic stuff. Like, you know, rice, cream of rice, egg whites in the
It's the
morning.
same. Yeah.
That's like my diet. It's basically like, you know, morning is cream of rice. Depending where I'm at in the bulk, it's like a scoop of peanut butter
Oh
in it.
yeah. Okay.
And that's where I'm like, man, I'll probably get some of your nut butters because that sounds like, I don't think it would drastically change between having a scoop of peanut butter or a scoop of the nut butter. You know
The
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because it's like pretty close to the same calorie
Same.
content. And, you know, then it's like egg whites, spinach, egg white omelet. And then, yeah, just rice and chicken. And lately I've been doing a lot of the air fryer.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'll put my
those are
rice and chicken in
cool.
the air fryer, make it all crispy.
Oh, that's
And then I
cool.
do like a lot of like vinegar based hot sauces because they have like 0 calories. Because you
Yes,
got to be
those are
careful because if you
good.
get certain hot sauces, they're full of sugar, they're full of like oils. If you get like Cholula or some of the, or even just regular, the freaking
They're like regular, they're like,
Tabasco.
yeah, pure.
Yeah,
There's
they're just
nothing in
pure.
it.
They're like
Yeah,
basically they're based out of vinegar and like red peppers. And it's like, well, I can
exactly.
have that. So, you know, you add that to it. And then usually like sometimes there's almonds just for a little bit
Almonds.
of fat content. So I'll put that in with my chicken and rice. And then yeah, beef. I don't know, like yeah, what's your go-to for beef, for red meat?
I usually do like just lean steak.
Mm,
It just depends.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. The healthiest stuff is just the healthiest stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because all like the same, all the competitors basically eat the same thing.
it's like the
It's
same.
very it's like proteins, carbs, fats, but just the cleanest, plainest versions of them.
Minus,
You
yeah.
know, and that's like that's
It's
okay. That's a good thing. So,
it's
um,
true.
so what do you feel like the next year is going to bring for you? What goals do you have
Um,
with the business and then competing?
Right now, I have like a lot of like modeling opportunities coming up. So
Tell us about that. That's exciting.
so that is something that I kind of like I did a lot before, and it's starting to pick up a lot now. So with that, I just kind of work with these photographers and work with like my sponsors and other people and
Yep.
other brands to just kind of develop into more. So once
Yeah.
like I work with one clothing company and then they take that on and then it gets awareness of another clothing company. It just kind
Super
of
cool.
builds,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And then I meet with them networking and then, they have like booths, for example, at the Olympia or the Arnold, and
Yep.
then I bring in my business. So it's like
How it all
learning
works together. Yeah.
networking I feel is everything.
It really is. Yeah, being
Yeah.
able to talk to people. So that's a cool goal. So get more, keep working more into that. And then what about for any competitions coming up?
Well, for the competitions, it's like kind of like what we mentioned earlier. I'm in that spot where I'm like, I
You're trying to
really,
grow.
yes. And then also with modeling, because what the thing is, when you want to advertise fitness clothes, fitness apparel, you have to look the part.
So does
Even
that
when you're making these, you can't. You have to be what you
right? So does that
represent.
become hard where modeling you feel like you're going to have to look a certain way because you're trying to get modeling opportunities, but maybe that goes against like your goal for the bikini because like right now maybe
Yes.
I need to be in a calorie surplus and I need to be growing my legs like you said. And
Yes.
so like I can't be as lean as I want to be right now, but then to get these modeling jobs I need to be lean. So it's probably hard to balance that.
Yeah, because some of them, they're like, okay, well, we'll send you a size small dress. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't, and
You're like
then,
I have goals in for bikini competition and when you have a goal like that, you might need to put on some size for a
oh my
while to grow your
gosh.
muscle. Where then when you get lean, you're going to see that muscle. But sometimes, like that's the not fun part about bodybuilding is sometimes when you're bulking, you can't be lean all the
You
time.
can't. And
Yeah,
even for like, when I went to this fashion show back in like 2 months ago,
yeah,
it was, again, I made it into a positive because I was like, you know what? It's the company's bikinis.
yes.
And I was in my off season, and my coach at the time was like, we need you eating all these foods.
Because he's trying to focus on your competition, so you might need to bulk a little bit and to put on
Yes.
muscle.
He
Yep.
wanted like 3,000 calories a day, all this food. And I'm like, and then I had that coming up. So mentally, I'm like eating, and then I see the suit and eating. I'm like, how do
Oh
you
my God.
balance?
Yeah, that's tough, isn't
And
it?
then you have to go in a fashion show, walk across the stage. And I'm like, how do I, how do I do
I think
this?
that's what a lot of people are dealing with, like when, especially when they're getting opportunities with clothing brands, or like your Instagram starts taking off, and now you're getting more sponsorships and stuff, and you want to look lean all year round because you're trying to like
Yes.
represent on your social media, and you have a certain way that you need to look to compete with what's out there. But it doesn't always necessarily go with your goals in bodybuilding because sometimes in bodybuilding you have to get put on some fat in
Yes.
order to grow the muscle so that you can get bigger for the next show. And I think that is a challenge a lot of people are facing nowadays
It really
because of all these
is.
opportunities they're getting online and, like you said, modeling and stuff. It's hard to balance that because the
It's really
reality of
hard.
bodybuilding is you have to put on some fat when you're growing. And that's just part of it. If you want to grow your legs and get next time you're at your bikini competition, your legs are just looking way better than they did last time, you might have to go through a period where you're uncomfortable eating like 3,000 calories a day. But that's
Yes.
hard to balance with, modeling. So that's a challenge.
And then wanting to do
Dang.
this whole other category where it's legs, lower body dominant.
What is the difference between that category and what you've already done? That's
I'm
wellness, you
still,
said?
yeah.
But you're still planning on doing bikini for now. But you
Um,
might transition into well. And what's the difference between wellness and bikini?
Right now, to be honest, I'm still kind of learning it myself. It's still new.
Okay, so you're kind of yep.
Yeah, but just knowing that it's more like lower dominant focus, at least for myself, for me to be able to grow, for me to
Right.
fit that criteria.
So what are you doing for legs?
Um,
Is it like do you do a lot of like deadlift or do you do like
Squats and like,
squats?
yeah,
Yeah.
mainly that, like twice a week.
Squats twice a week. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is the best. It's still the best thing for leg development, I think,
Yeah,
is
and
squats.
and just like I have to always get better at compound movements, especially if I want to like break out of that zone because it's not like,
Yeah.
I have like a spotter or a trainer, so it's like learning to be more confident with the compound movements and actually be like, you know what? I need to break out of this certain weight I've been using all this time and be confident enough to lift it
And
and be
it's
like,
tough to do that, right?
it's
Because that's
really
the only way
tough
you're
to,
going to grow is by adding a little bit of weight, a little bit of.
yeah,
That's cool. I'm big into compound movements too. I feel like they
yeah.
just functionally, and they end up giving you the best aesthetic. It seems like not always. Some guys are not. They don't do a lot of compound stuff and they look great. I don't know. For me, I feel like compounds are the best for me.
Yeah.
Like deadlifts and squats. There's like I cannot get any. Like this year, I had abs when I got lean, and it's like I would credit. I'm not doing a bunch of ab stuff at the gym. I would credit my abs mostly to all those compound lifts that I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're
It's,
like you're building your core because you have to use your core, and so yeah, I think those are like the best. Like squat is still one of the best.
that's good.
Yeah. So that's cool, and then like so as far as the business goes with the Fuelicious bakery, what's the goal over the next year? Just keep growing and
The goal over the next year is to invest more in my branding,
yeah.
to invest more in that, and to just keep building it, keep putting awareness with it, keep
Hmm.
finding ways to make it better. And then again, like the one focus now is like, I'm thinking like how, if it is growing, which it has, how can I have a team of help? Like how can I incorporate?
That's the next step I think for any business. Like I'm talking like I know how to run a business. I know, but from what I've gathered, like when you start delegating, that's when it's like that's how
Yes.
you really can grow. Is you're gonna have to like eventually get other people on board to help, and then you're probably really gonna take off.
Yeah, then I could do like then I could do research and be like, okay, nutrition facts. How do I buy a sticker or do I buy
Where it's actually
printed on the
printed.
wrapper? Which
I
all
don't.
these are investments.
Oh man, you have to think about that, huh?
Because yeah, they're
What's the
financial.
difference between like? So to me, it would be cool if it was printed right on there, but like I wouldn't also be mad if there was just a sticker. Because at
Yeah,
least I have the information. Because if I'm somebody that's worrying about, I'm a bodybuilder and I need my macros to be exact, or I'm a bikini, competitor and I need my macros to be exact, I don't necessarily think they would care if there's a sticker there, because I still
yeah.
have the info, and the info is what's important to me.
You would care less about you would have more respect if you saw the numbers. It would be more.
Right, but I mean, also I'm with you. Like, I definitely think packaging matters, in like, because even I guess we can't reach it over there, but so like I have this Bones coffee. I'll show you after the
Oh,
show,
okay.
and just like their branding and their packaging, the way they do it is like makes you just want to buy it
Oh
because it looks
yeah.
so cool, And I'll show you they have
Yeah.
some cool flavors,
Oh,
and that's the
that's
cool
cool.
thing too. Like you have such cool different flavors and stuff that I feel like, but I think like for bodybuilders, the main thing is going to be being able to see those macros and they're
Yes.
just gonna. But I mean, I definitely think you should keep going with like you said, like caring about how cool the packaging looks and all that. Because like I think even like Crumble Cookie and like you said that other My Cookie Dealer, they probably have really great packaging and stuff.
They do. They
You know,
really do. And I
so that
see
stuff
that
matters,
and
right?
yeah, and I
Yeah.
want that so bad and I'm like, you know
Oh,
what?
you'll
Yeah.
get it. You're working on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is so
Yes.
cool. Well,
Thank
is there
you.
any other? Let's see. We can probably wrap this up pretty quick here. Do you have any other kind of like? Do you want to shout out any of your sponsors or?
I actually just wanted to give you credit because I've been seeing your podcast, and I
Yeah.
think it's so cool, like the diversity of like
I appreciate
there's
it.
music, there's
Yeah.
bodybuilders, and I think like what's your goal, like your future
So,
goal?
well, for me, just like I want to keep working on like physical fitness. I want to do this bodybuilding show, which will be my first one. I want to keep getting better at bodybuilding because it's something that I've. So I've been in physically fit and lifting for like over 20 years. You know, I started lifting in like 2002.
Oh
So
wow,
like,
that's
yeah, I
so
mean, I
cool.
graduated in 2003. So there's probably not been a week in over 20 years where I haven't been in the gym.
That's
You know what I mean? So
awesome.
like you realize, wow, that's a long time. I've been doing this for like over 20 years. So it's always been a passion. And I used to do pro wrestling. And so that was always kind of like what went hand in hand with lifting, was trying to look like a wrestler, be functional for wrestling. But then like about 2 years ago during COVID, that's when I ended up getting my coach, Jordan Hubbard, Renovation Fitness. Shout out to them. I love them as coaches. And actually, they just got married yesterday,
Oh
which is cool.
wow.
So congratulations to them. But just keep getting better and be part of the team renovation, and then transition that into my own coaching brand, which is going to be Freed Off Fitness. And I want to start getting clients myself and learn how to become a great coach. And I'm not going to try to coach people on, bodybuilding competitions or bikini. I don't have that kind of skill, or, I'm not there yet. But what I can do is take like normal people and help them get in great shape.
That's
So
awesome.
that's my goal for Free Dot Fitness. So I do have that ability to, I'm good with diets, macros, workout plans, and I definitely can help people with that. So that's the goal in the next year, is get Freed Off Fitness to take off, and then keep doing the podcast because I really enjoy it. And it's kind of a natural transition from, I used to play in bands and I used to do the pro wrestling thing. So this is a new transition of something that I can do. And yeah, just keep growing the podcast, grow Freed Off Fitness, and then get in the best shape that I've ever been in,
That's
which I've
awesome.
honestly done that this year, but I want to do it even more. I want to be like, even like you said, like you're always like, it could even be better. Like
Yeah.
next time I get lean, it's going to be even better. And then maybe I can bulk and see how big I could get for next year. And then maybe like next time I'm lean, maybe I'm lean at like 220 pounds or
Oh
230.
yeah.
Because, I'll get up to 230 now and on a bulk, but then when I get lean, I'm down to like 217 or 215.
Okay.
Like, what if I could get so big that like when I get lean, I'm still like 230?
Oh
Like, that would be so
yeah.
dope. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's
like,
cool.
I don't know, just keep growing, and then keep growing as a person too. And like kind of the stuff you said, like,
Exactly.
how do I take that and make it so it's not just selfish and it's not about me, but it's like helping people. And I think that's what Freed Off Fitness can be with coaching, is kind of giving back and helping people. But also, I think this podcast does that in a way, because a lot of times, like, I'm still promoting myself, and I think it's good for me to be out in the public eye on the podcast, but a lot of times it's actually about showcasing the guest.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
was just gonna say your podcast enables people a foundation to share
yeah,
their
it
stories.
does. It's great. And there's so many people around here. We listen to podcasts all the time, and it's people far away from us that we don't know. And there's so many interesting people here that are just killing it at doing things, like you with your business. And then, like I had that guy that started his other fitness business, Roundbox Fitness. And then, Jay yesterday with his photography. And so there's so many interesting people here who are trying to, kind of break out of that normal 9 to 5, and like, become entrepreneurs, and like, or even ones that have a 9 to 5, but they're just killing it in like bodybuilding, or they're into like Muay Thai or jujitsu, and these are their passions. And then, so it's like untold stories, and it's a way to like celebrate these people. And then the thing is, for me, every time I have a guest on, like you or anybody else, I get to like hear from these creative entrepreneurs or passionate people, and then I learn stuff, so it's good for me. But also, like you said, I think it's cool to, I definitely want to keep it open, where it's like, I think in December, like I had Jonathan Wills on here, who was the paranormal guy.
Oh yeah.
And we did that episode on like ghosts and the paranormal and all that stuff. And it was like, that's way different than bodybuilding episode.
Oh,
You know, most of my episodes, because I enjoy bodybuilding, so that's like a majority of the episodes. But I want to keep it open to, like you said, musicians and artists. And so like even next, I'm going to have this other paranormal, she has a podcast about ghosts and paranormal and serial killers and stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so she's going to be on in December. So it's like, yeah, I want to keep it open to like many different, you know what I mean? Because it's more fun that way. Because like as much as we love bodybuilding, like I don't want to only hear about bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear about all different kinds of people, you know? Yeah. Do you listen to have any podcasts that you like that are out there right now?
Currently, there's one through Team Light. Yeah.
Yeah. Which one is it?
Team Light or Adam. I forgot his last name.
But
now.
it's one that you like to listen to.
It's one, yeah.
They're just like, yeah, they're just so fun
And this one, is awesome.
I'm glad.
So,
yeah, keep listening to. I really appreciate your support. And well, I really appreciate you being here today too. So that was a lot of fun. And if you have anything coming up in the future that is big and you want to come on just to promote it again,
awesome.
because I'm sure we'll have even more followers by then. So it's starting to become actually more worth it to come on here to promote things because we have we're starting to gain a following. So
that's awesome.
It's exciting. So yeah, next time you want to do anything, and then everybody go to Fueliciousbakery.com and order all kinds of these healthy products. I cannot wait to try it. And is there any other sponsors you need to shout out before we go?
Maybe just like acknowledge the Mecca Gym in Idaho because that's one new thing. We'll be having our product over there as of next month.
Like in the gym?
In
all
gym,
the
it's
time.
Our first, yeah.
So are you gonna have to be like mailing this to them?
Shipping, yeah.
No way. So that's a big get for you.
Yeah.
So this is exciting. So that's right there. Just tells me that your business is doing well.
It's good.
Imagine you're at a gym and you can just buy these. That'd be great.
Yeah.
You got to get in more gyms around here. So that's exciting.
Thank you.
So yeah, everybody go check out Fueliciousbakery.com and try these amazing products. And Talla, thank you for being here. I really enjoyed it. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys next time.